For Utah's most accurate forecast with Thomas Geboy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
Yes, those winds were for a lot of today.
Yeah, and they came in pretty strong as well, Thomas.
Yeah, we saw those strong wind gusts basically all through today. The wind advisories have since been allowed to expire, along with the winter weather advisory for the mountains that we had for the Wasatch Mountains. But it was a busy day in the northern half of the state, especially where we did see that hail, especially in the Salt Lake Metro around midday today. Stacey Ladett sent this one in from Magna, where we saw a nickel to dime size hail. And these views of the thunderstorms that we had, impressive to say the least. This was shared by John Strait from the East Bench. You can see that thunderstorm working its way into the mountains. And I snapped this picture earlier this evening. This is my car. It's normally a black car, but it's now dust color because of all this dust that was flying around with the rain and the strong winds that we had, and you probably saw something similar on your vehicle. At least we ended the day with a pretty nice view. This was shared by Meg Roberts overlooking the Salt Lake Valley. A beautiful sky this evening, and that just kind of goes to show our weather is calming down as we're going into tonight. We did see some pretty healthy precipitation numbers, though. In Grantsville, ½ inch of moisture fell from the sky. Meanwhile, ¼ inch in Smithfield. But for the resorts, we saw some halfway decent totals. There's going to be some fresh powder for those of you that are going to be heading up tomorrow. Alta picked up 5 inches of snow, along with Solitude, Park City Mountain at 4 inches, and Brighton and Snow Basin both picked up 3 inches of snow. But those winds, they were whipping around, to say the least. The Windy Peak in the western Uintas, 92-mile-per-hour wind gust was clocked there, 77 at Carter Peak. Deer Valley clocked a wind gust of 69 miles per hour. And down in our valleys, we saw multiple wind gusts over 40 and 50 miles per hour. But the reason why our weather is calming down now is because that cold front's now moving away down to the southeast. High pressure is going to briefly build in, but you might see in the Pacific Northwest, there's a little bit of energy right here. And by the time we get into the second half of Wednesday into our Thursday, that bit of energy is going to make its way into our neighborhood to bring us a chance for some isolated showers, mainly in northern Utah, while southern Utah looks to stay mostly dry. In the meantime, though, an absolutely beautiful view from Snow Basin looking towards Mount Ogden as those temperatures are cooling down. We're now sitting at 34 degrees in Logan, 39 degrees in Ogden, 42 in Salt Lake, 34 degrees in Heber City, and 67 in St. George. In St. George, you really haven't seen the effects of the cold front just yet, but it will be turning cool or chilly as we go into tonight. As we zoom things in here, you'll see that tomorrow, daytime high is going to be about 10 degrees below our seasonal averages in the northern half of the state. Generally 30s and 40s with a few spots along the Wasatch Front like Salt Lake sneaking to around 50 degrees. And then in the central half of the state, we'll see plenty of 40s and 50s here. We'll mainly be talking about mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, but in the central half of the state could be talking about mostly cloudy skies, while we'll see a daytime high tomorrow, 44 in Monticello, 54 in Blanding. I do want to make mention that in southeastern Utah, including portions of Grand County and in San Juan County, we'll see a freeze watch go into effect by tomorrow night. But for St. George, a daytime high more than 5 degrees below average tomorrow with a daytime high of 67. Now let's go ahead and time things out for you here on the Futurecast. And as we go into the overnight hours, we're still going to hold on to a chance for some showers generally in central Utah and in northeastern Utah. But for that high pressure building in tomorrow, that will keep most of our weather quiet for the bulk of the day, but that piece of energy will be arriving by tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. So you'll see by 5 o'clock in the northwestern half of the state, we're going to have that chance for isolated showers. Then as we go into the overnight hours from Wednesday night into Thursday morning, isolated showers going to be a possibility even along the Wasatch Front, and with temperatures dropping into the 30s, we even could see straight snow down to our valley floors along the Wasatch Front. Can't be ruled out, but likely not going to be anything significant. Then as we go from Thursday morning into the afternoon, another ridge of high pressure will eventually build in. That will lead to calmer skies once again as we round out the work week and move into the upcoming weekend, with maybe a slim chance for a few showers in northern Utah and the high country on Saturday before another storm system could make its way in by early next week. So the roller coaster of our weather does continue. In St. George, we'll be in the upper 60s tomorrow, low 70s on Thursday, then mid to upper 70s Friday into Saturday before we're back in the 80s as we turn the page into early next week. Then along the Wasatch Front, a slight chance by tomorrow evening with a daytime high the next couple of days near 50. Overnight lows continue in the 30s. Then we're in the middle 50s on Friday, low 60s on Saturday, upper 60s possible on Sunday. Then we bring in that chance for wet weather on Monday. But at least if these temperatures hold that way, we won't see that drastic warm up. So fingers crossed the runoff doesn't get too accelerated as we see that warm up by the end of the week.
Like to see that.
We're crossing them, Thomas.
There you go.
We're trusting this. All right. Thank you so much. Time now for a look at sports.